Hello YouTubers, welcome back to Rich Reviews. You might recognize the two tools that I have here, as I have already done separate reviews on these. However, what I'd like to do today is what I have done with a few of my other tools, and do a side-by-side comparison and give you some specs and some differences and all that. So to start with, this is the Milwaukee M12. It's part of the M12 system, which is the largest 12 volt system on the market. This is the Ryobi Airstrike narrow crown stapler. They have currently, to my knowledge, they have 4 different guns. As far as that goes, they have the narrow crown stapler, they have the finish nailer, a brad nailer, and then newest to their lineup is a pin nailer. And these are 18 volt as opposed to the 12. So naturally you can already see a big comparison in size difference. But they have a lot of different features, so let me go over some of them. And we'll start with the M12. Now this is a flat crown stapler. It takes anywhere from 1/4 inch up to 9/16 inch flat crown staples, normal staples I guess you want to say. This is good for stapling down like tar paper, doing roofing or insulation of any type, or maybe putting like a tarp or some kind of sheeting down on a surface. Going to be really good for that. Also, if you're putting wires up somewhere and you need them to stay down, maybe Christmas lights or something like that, it's good for that too. So it had, like anything, it has its uses, what it's good for. So let me go over some of the features. First off, as you can see, it has a clear open sleeve, so you can actually see when the staples are, or when you need more staples. So there's no guessing work or anything like that. It's clear and it's open, so you can see it. Now, this does have a dry lock feature, meaning that when you get down to 5 staples left, it is no longer going to fire at all. You have to refill it at that point, which is good because then you're not going to mar the surface by going to shoot something and it doesn't put a staple in, but it leaves a mark on the wood or whatever. So that's one of the features that this has. They call it a dry lock feature. To load the staples in, there's a clip right here. Simply press that. The sleeve slides out. The staples drop into here, upside down, and then you simply lock it into place. Now, as far as operating it, this has to be depressed all the way down before it will actually shoot. Now, the one thing what will happen if you press the trigger just like this, it will light up the battery charge. So it has it right on the tool, not on the battery. So it tells you how much battery life you have left. Right here is your depth setter. So if you push it up to plus, it's going to increase how far it goes down. Going down to minus, it's going to decrease, obviously. It does have a belt clip. So does the Ryobi for that matter, but me personally, I don't suggest carrying these on your belt. They are a little bit heavy, especially the 18 volt. So I don't really suggest putting this on your belt. I use them primarily for hanging on my toolbox or somewhere else, but I really don't use it as an actual belt clip. So the way this operates, like I said, you have to depress this and press it down. You fire one shot, gonna fire one staple. It does have a rapid fire mode on it, but unlike the Ryobi, I'll show you that in a little bit. The way this operates is different in the sense that this doesn't have any switch or lever or button or anything else to change it to that setting. All you do is, for single shot, like I said, you press it down, take a shot, that's it. For rapid fire, what you're going to do is before you put it down, you're going to press the trigger and hold it in, then press it down. At that point in time, you could just go down the line and rapid fire staples while you're holding the trigger in. So the Ryobi works different in that sense. I'll get to that in a minute. The battery goes right into the handle. This is a 12 volt red lithium 2.0 battery. So that goes right into the handle. That's your operation of it. I think that's pretty much it as far as this goes. It will, as you can see, stand on its own as long as you have the battery in there. So let's move on to the Ryobi. Now this is obviously 18 volt, and you can see it's big. Now this, like I said, this has a belt clip on it also, but even more so than the Milwaukee, I do not suggest trying to hang this on your belt. It's going to pull you down. So this, now one of the other differences, now this is a narrow crown stapler. That is a flat crown. The narrow crowns are going to be really good for putting up trim work. Really good for that. Putting up lattice, on your porch or whatever. So just like anything else, it does have its uses, and they are going to come in handy. And this takes anywhere from 3/8 of an inch all the way up to 1.5 inch narrow crown staplers. The sleeve on this, very easy. Press that button, sleeve slides out, staples go right in that track there. Just like in the other one, they just drop in upside down, snap it shut, you're ready to go. Now to operate this, now this also has, unlike the M12, this has LED lights. One here and one there. Now there's two ways to operate that. The first way is going to be the trigger, but it won't operate that unless the gun is actually firing. So that's a safety it has. You have to have this depressed down before it'll actually fire. But you can use the light without using the tool itself. There is a separate button right under the trigger. You press that, that's going to operate your lights. So you're good to go on that. Now this has two different ways of driving in the staples as far as depth. It has this dial here you could turn, and that's going to increase or decrease the depth of the staple. It also has this here which regulates your air pressure. Now unlike the M12, that's an pure electric staple gun. This however has a built-in compressor in here, air compressor. So this regulates your air pressure. That is also going to assist in driving the staple down further or keeping it a little further out. The battery in this goes in the, like that, it goes up into the handle, but obviously a bigger battery. This is an 18 volt. And the other thing I was explaining earlier about the rapid fire or single shot, this has the trigger right here. So you could set that either way. On one setting, you can't, it's hard to see there, but it has a single nail showing. You switch it over the other one and it'll have 3 nails showing. So if you're in the single one, naturally that means single shot. So you press this down, you take your shot, and that's it. On the rapid fire, you switch it down to where it shows 3 nails, 3 staples, whatever. And then you press in the trigger, hold it, and then just follow down the line and take your shots in. And that's going to fire your staples that way. So this also has a dry lock feature, but this will actually run out of staples before it stops shooting, obviously. So it's a little different than the M12 is. Naturally, it's much bigger, so just keep that in mind, for depending on the type of work you're doing. The battery on this has a fuel gauge, so if I press that, you'll see the lights go on. So now, unlike the M12, the charge is showing on the battery itself. So this is showing on the battery itself. On the M12, on the lights are actually on the gun. Even though it's showing you the battery life, it's not on the battery that it's showing you, it's on the gun itself. So another thing to keep in mind. But just wanted to go over some of the features on that, on both of these guns. So depending on what your needs are, and as far as space goes for that matter, both have their uses. They're both going to be very good for whatever you're using it for. But keep in mind that one's an 18 volt, one's a 12, one's a flat crown, one's a narrow crown. So there are some major differences, even though they're both staple guns. And this works off electric. This works off a mainly built-in air compressor. So just something to keep in mind. Well, that's it for today. I just wanted to give a quick rundown on the two staple guns and let you know some of the differences and some of the uses and everything. Tune in for my next video, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.